Oh my God! Welcome to the Take It or Break It Roundball Rock playoff preview. I'm here with John Wilmes. John, say hi.
Yo!
I'm also here with Sean Keane.
Hey, guys.
And I'm also here with Joey Devine, who made his girlfriend take a lift to be here and record this podcast today. Joey, how are you doing?
Okay, first off, I'm not the one who made my girlfriend do this, but yes. Hi.
I want to sincerely apologize to Joey's girlfriend, whose name I don't know. I'll assume it's Pam or something along those lines. And because I feel personally responsible for making you take a lift today. I owe you a good turn, Joey Devine's girlfriend.
Her name's Ivy. She's okay.
Oh, wow.
She's great.
Oh,
but
I thought you meant like, oh, she's all right.
No.
Whatever, you know.
I mean, like, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay. All right. Let me look
Don't feel bad, Corbin.
Okay. Can I feel a little bad?
I mean, if you want to,
okay.
But
I think he wants to feel bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
If you listen to Take It or Break It, you know that Corbin wants to feel bad.
Yeah, that's why I hate Jerry West so much, just because I see so much of myself in him.
Oh, man. Brendan's story about Jerry West was so good the other day.
What was it again?
Did you miss that in the group chat,
I saw it. I just
Corbin?
don't remember it.
So, our friend Brendan McGowan was at Michael Jordan's golf tournament as a child, and he was waiting in the lobby of a hotel, and an old man came, for player autographs, and an old man came up to him and was like, "Is there a specific person you're waiting for an autograph for?" And he was like, "Yeah, Larry Bird." And the old man was like, "Oh, okay, I'll get it for you and leave it at the front desk." And then, like, 2 hours later, his dad was like, "Did you ask Jerry West for Larry Bird's autograph?"
I just want to, you know what? Good on Jerry West. That's a nice Jerry West story. I'll give him that one.
It's a perfect Jerry West story because he's doing something nice, but also kind of getting trolled.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the sort of incorrect autograph seeking like that, which is why I appreciate a gift that Kevin O'Shea, friend of the podcast, gave me and Joey, which is a photo that is of Klay Thompson with David Lee in the background. He's like out of focus, and it is autographed by David Lee.
Wonderful. All right, we're going to... I'm not even going to take notes. We're just going to go through the playoff series. We're going to issue predictions, and we're going to talk about the horrors and the pleasures that might come from that series. Are you all ready?
Sure.
John?
I'm not ready, but I'll do my best.
Unfucking believable.
Well,
all right.
Okay.
1-8 in the
Donkey
West.
Kong just knocked him off the edge.
Oh.
I didn't hear what you said. You cut out there.
Our first matchup is 1-8, the San Diego Warriors versus the Los Angeles Clippers. Gentlemen, who will win this series? Let's start with Joey, I guess.
The Golden State Warriors, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than we think it's going to be.
Keane.
I think it will be the Warriors, and it will not be that close. I feel like I'm stabbing Clippers superfan Lewis Keane straight in the heart when I say this.
Poor
but
boy. That poor boy.
Yeah.
What about Billy Crystal?
I'm not personally betraying him. He doesn't know me yet.
Oh, yet? Oh, wow. Fucking show business mover and shaker Sean Keane over here.
I do not think I am about 1 degree
Look, someday
removed from
fucking
Billy Crystal
Crystal's
right
gonna
now.
work for me, baby.
But it's also like is it impossible? Like, do I think I would work for Billy Crystal in the early 90s? No. Could I end up working with Billy Crystal in like the year 2021? Yes, that is within my powers. 30 years post prime.
Is your representation occasionally intimidated by the depth of your ambition?
I mean, sometimes, then sometimes they just sort of like quietly weep when we're in meetings.
Oh, okay. And John Wilmes, who's going to win the series?
I was thinking about pretending that the Clippers were going to like win, just to do like a bit of a troll.
Uh-huh.
But they're not going to win, and it's not going to be close.
Corbin thinks, unbelievable, that the Warriors are going to win. And there's going to be one game or two that the Clippers steal, and it's going to be stupid and entertaining.
I really think that the Warriors are going to sleepwalk one or two of these games, and Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams are going to go for like a lot of points against them.
I mean, I just think the Clippers. Well, I mean, it really is Warriors specific. You're right. You're like, it's sleepwalking. It's like they don't run back on defense, but the Clippers shouldn't be able to guard 4 of the 5 guys in the Warriors.
Yeah. It's just in the regular season the last 2 years, Lou Williams has actually had like monster games against the Warriors a couple of times.
I mean, that's true, but I think if it really was a problem, they would just put Andre on him.
Wow.
But
anyway,
sorry,
you think that Andre can guard Lou Williams?
Yeah.
He's motherfucking Lou Williams, baby.
I mean, there's a certain sense where no one who's ever been alive can truly guard Lou Williams.
Yeah, you're goddamn right.
I mean, I definitely believe that. I don't know. It's weird because this used to be a super bitter rivalry, where like the 2014 series was actively unpleasant in every respect. Also because of the, examination, the mirror up to America's systemic racism, which came out. But now it's just weird because Steph Curry and Doc are related now.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's like a really weird turn that like the coach who seemingly hated the Warriors the most is now like having Thanksgiving at Steph Curry's house.
Yeah, like this is a rivalry that Draymond Green had personally made T-shirts that said "Cool Story Glenn" on them and sold them on his website, making fun of Doc Rivers. And now Doc Rivers is part of Steph Curry's family.
It was a truth-sealing marriage.
Doesn't it feel like something that would happen on Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
But also, there's no Clippers left from when the teams had a rivalry. The Clippers don't have any players they had 2 years ago.
Not even Wesley Johnson.
Yeah, Wesley Johnson was the last man.
I feel like Draymond, more than any other NBA player, embodies how closely related love and hate are, and that if he's like shit-talking you down into the ground, he could like be your best friend the next moment.
Yeah, he truly is the NBA's Radio Raheem.
Okay.
Because he had the love and hate ring.
No, I got it.
And then the league choked him out of the 2016 finals.
So
you guys want
I think we
want to keep it running. You want to see how far you can take this?
So, one little question: are you guys being Sean and Joey, both Warriors fans? Are y'all worried that Patrick Beverley is going to injure somebody?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, that's always a worry.
Okay.
And somebody would, of course, be Stephen Curry.
Yeah. He's definitely like a lot worse than he used to be. I'm saying this as a
like morally or
Patrick Beverley fan.
Yeah.
But he just kind of doesn't have it anymore.
I
think that makes him more likely to hurt someone.
Did you guys see that video of him talking to Jay Crowder after the game where he's very clearly telling Jay Crowder how to guard James Harden?
Yep. Yeah,
it's wild.
Yeah, the shit rules. I like to imagine that whenever that he does that thing and also injures people, so that down the road after his team gets beat, he can watch games and see little stripes of victory for himself and things.
Well, isn't Jay Crowder the perfect guy to tell it to? Because wasn't Jay Crowder the guy who was like, man, we knew exactly how to guard all the players on the teams we never ended up facing.
Yeah, that was his big thing, is like, oh, like the Warriors were afraid of the Celtics. We were the only teams that could guard them.
Gross. Do you think Jay Crowder will ever not play for an honor team?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why the Cavs had to get rid of him.
Yeah, because he was too
And the Mavericks.
Yeah.
Both the Cavs and the Mavericks traded him. Too little honor in those franchises.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, so we all think the Warriors are going to win. Next is the Bucks versus the Pistons. John Wilmes, who's going to win this series?
Oh, definitely the Pistons.
All right.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't think that. It's going to probably be a sweep, honestly.
Sean Keane?
I think the Pistons already had what's going to be their Game 7 when they came back against the Memphis Grizzlies, which would be a very Detroit Pistons thing to have their season peak on April 9th while playing the Memphis Grizzlies and getting bailed out by Ish Smith. It just doesn't seem like they can score enough points to beat Milwaukee, which seems like a very simple thing to say, but just like Blake Griffin is really hurt already, and it hasn't, like, normally he waits until the playoffs, but he's hurt already.
Joey Devine?
What Sean said. I mean, I'm happy that the Pistons are back, I guess. I'm sort of happy for Blake. I wish he wasn't hurt, because I still have a soft spot for old Blake. But yeah, this is going to be a sweep.
Yeah. Oh, can I also say, I'm not really making fun of the Pistons, because they are kind of topping out at their abilities, and the fact that they swept the Raptors after Dwayne Casey got fired by them is super tight. One of the secretly tight things that happened this year.
They did it for Dwayne.
It's just like, it's nice to see a dude just individually sweep his old boss.
Yeah, I think that the Bucks are going to win this. I think the Bucks are probably going to make the finals guy. And I've just been running into a lot of people who disagree with me on this and say that the Raptors, or God forbid the Celtics, are going to make it. But I mean, I don't know. The Bucks have an excellent record. Their coach is great, and they have the best player in the East. Like, come on.
The advanced analytics on the Bucks are frankly crazy.
What do you like? Oh yeah.
Like their offensive and defensive ratings, and like the number of teams they blew out and stuff. It's like the closest team there actually are to is like the Warriors team that made the finals the first year. Yeah, when everyone was like, "Oh, the Warriors can't make the finals."
Yeah.
Well, everyone did say that. They said the Warriors can't make the finals, and they played a banjo.
Yeah,
but also
I forgot
like
about
the
the
Warriors.
banjo.
But would you be that surprised if the Bucks like went down 2-1 or 3-2 in a series? I kind of wouldn't. Like, just because that's what happened to that Warriors team, is they trailed in 2 of their 4 series. I don't know. I mean, I think they are probably the best team, but it will be. I think it will be interesting because it's a lot of guys who are kind of new to playoff basketball, and you know, I'm curious what teams do when they get, you know, a week and a half to figure out how to stop Giannis.
I think that with that week and a half, they won't come up with anything, and I'm looking forward to him making Andre Drummond look like a little baby.
Yeah, he's going to breastfeed him, right?
He's going to breastfeed him. I don't think anyone.
Wouldn't that be so tender if Giannis was breastfeeding somebody?
Yeah, it'd be pretty tender. But so I don't think anyone has a chance at him until Kawhi Leonard in the Eastern Conference Finals, which is what I assume the matchup is going to be.
Excuse me. What about America's greatest little boy, Jason Tatum?
Greatest little boy. My favorite is watching Marcus Smart.
Giannis is gonna act like he's gonna breastfeed Jason Tatum, but then he's like, when he gets his head to his breast, he's gonna snap his neck and then cook him and eat him.
Giannis is going to be so confused as to why there's a player holding a giant lollipop and dressed like little Lord Fauntleroy.
I like when Marcus Smart tries to play post defense on Giannis at the top of the key because that's like his best answer for the situation. And that's like honestly one of the best defenders in the Eastern Conference right there.
He's dead too.
Yeah.
And now he's dead.
Yeah. They took his...
But so I don't know. I don't know like how much that hurts them, the Celtics against the Bucks, if they end up beating the Pacers. We'll see.
Well, we'll get there.
Speaking of, the next series is the Celtics versus the Pacers, the Indiana Pacers, the White People Bowl, the Larry Bird Bowl. Let's Keane, you first. Yeah, that sounds right.
Well, I mean, it's going to be impressive to see both Gordon Hayward and Brad Stevens returning to Indianapolis, the home of Butler University, where Brad Stevens did the thing that he's best at, almost winning.
Got him. Oh, my God. Brad Stevens' blood all over the screen, people.
Yeah, the Celtics fans will be conflicted because they're going to be like, oh, Larry Bird, there's 3 white players. A guy's name is McDermott. He's white and Irish. Oh, my God. So I do think that legendary
the crowd.
TD North Garden Arena, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Might not be quite the house of horrors that it normally is for each and every playoff opponent that goes there.
Yeah. The crowd just destroys those people.
It pushes them to a higher place when you're on the Celtics. It's like the crowd is making love to the stars.
It really is. The celestial stars.
Yeah, the cosmos.
Yeah.
Like
and
Sun
not
Ra's
the
watching
muscular
it.
wrestling man.
Yeah.
Like Sun
Gotta
Ra's
keep
watching it
that
and
guy.
singing, "Look at those white people, fuck the stars." Listen to a lot of Sun Ra lately. But anyway, who's gonna win?
I think the Celtics are going to win. It's
lame. All right, Joey.
Look, I've spent the last 2 days trying to talk myself into the Pacers winning. I was like, Bojan Bogdanovic had a really big playoff series last year, and without Marcus Smart, who's going to guard Bojan? And I don't think I can do it, unfortunately. I think it's going to be the Celtics, but I think it's going to be hard. I think it's going to be like Celtics in 7.
Wilmes.
Celtics are going to win this one. Also, Corbin, I want to sort of check you on your overly too eagerly ascribing like white identity politics to like sports teams and stuff, because sometimes you get in trouble for that.
No, Corbin Smith NFL gets in trouble for that.
No. I got a patsy. I put that on. I want to make this clear that every time that happens to Corbin Smith NFL, I feel really bad about it. Okay. It's a fun joke to act like I don't, but I do. I'm not a monster. Okay. I guess I think the Celtics are going to win. I don't look, I'm just like Joey though. I want to sit here and make up fucking reasons why they won't, so that they'll fire Brad Stevens and blow up the team and all lose their mind. But here we are.
I mean, if both teams were fully healthy, I think it would be reasonable to choose.
Oh yeah, if Oladipo,
I would
was on the Pacers,
for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think about it. But I'm sitting here Miles Turner and Bojan are gonna give it to him. Okay.
I mean, Miles Turner is really good.
Yeah, he is.
But I just this to me seems like a bunch of really close games that Kyrie Irving ends up winning at the last minute, like
But
3
honestly,
times.
also, which I should say is the only acceptable way for the Celtics to win a game.
Oh, agreed.
Like if they win with teamwork and immaculate offense, fuck that shit. But if Kyrie has to bail their bum asses out,
I think that Daddy Horford is also an acceptable path to victory.
Man, Hawks Horford was a great guy to root for. It's a shame that he had to play for the Celtics.
Al Horford is like the on this team is like the dad who like comes and picks you up and gives you a ride when you're stranded.
And doesn't like you have a quiet ride home. He doesn't ask any questions.
Right. You forgot to like figure out a way home from the mall where you got.
I thought it was like something tragic.
It could be. So, a lot of stuff can happen at the mall.
Yeah, that's
fair. Either way, he's
like
got,
Hot Topic could be out of your T-shirt.
Yeah,
that's rough when they don't have
your Jack Skellington hoodie.
Yeah, when they don't
wanted.
have. Oh well, I was looking for an AFI T-shirt actually.
A
Pennywise cap. But, I wanted to represent that bro him is how I identify.
The Rockets versus the Jazz. Oh man, this is the all-time fucking Greeks versus Romans matchup right here, baby.
Mm-hmm.
This is no honor versus all honor. This is some fucking boy. This is respect the Jazz versus whatever. Maybe we'll be good, maybe not. Let's find out.
It's some of the angriest fans on Twitter, right?
Yeah, both of these people are very angry.
Dude, okay. Rockets fans have like entirely too small market of energy. I don't understand it. They feel like people don't respect their championships from the 90s, which is just not true as far as I'm concerned.
People love those teams.
Yeah.
I mean, the only objection is that Michael Jordan isn't there, but it's like that's not a real asterisk.
Yeah, and I also kind of think they probably would have won anyway because
because they were good and the Bulls would have been tired. Yeah,
they're good. The Bulls would have been tired, and also
Hakeem Olajuwon just would have cooked like Bill Cartwright constantly.
Yeah, if any, like it would have been the Michael Jordan making Bill Cartwright cry series.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the only way that Michael Jordan could enjoy losing.
What did he call the?
They're just in film sessions watching Cartwright getting demolished by Hakeem.
What did he call their center rotation in the late 90s?
21 feet of shit.
Man. Well, yeah, it's I think it's very hard to maintain that kind of intensity that many times. Like sometimes when I have felt differently about this Warriors series because I've read 2 Michael Jordan biographies this year, and it's like, oh, even Michael Jordan wasn't intense enough for like 4 in a row. It's like, yeah, okay, obviously these guys are not going to be bringing it against the Phoenix Suns in March.
Okay, who's going to win? John.
I don't even want to make a decision on this because I genuinely don't know. Apparently, according to a more serious podcast, which is kind of rapidly turning into the satire that you guys have developed about it. But according to Dunked On, which I listened to yesterday, these have been the 2 best teams in the league since like January 1st. And this might end up being one of the best series in the playoffs. And I really don't know what's going to happen. If Chris Paul has like been to some extent saving it for the playoffs, I think the Rockets will win. But if he looks like still like a 85% of what he was last year type of player, then
85 is a little generous.
It is a little generous.
Really bad.
Well, he's been better since like the All-Star break.
But still, he's looked like 75%, maybe 60% Chris Paul. It's a bummer, dude. Chris Paul's a fucking bummer, man.
It's a bummer. It's a massive bummer. But if he has been saving it to some extent, I think the Rockets will win. But if he is looking washed, Jazz are going to win.
the other thing I would say is, even if he's like the combination is, he definitely could be saving his energy, and the other factor is like the part of sports that we don't really talk about, where it's like, well, this is the time where you'd shoot him up with something.
Hell,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like this
Right.
is.
Oh, yeah. In Chris Paul's case, we're talking about frosting. Ooh.
But
He's fat.
It's weird because this is like such a like analytics bukkake showdown here, where everyone's like, pace of play since January 4th. Oh my god. But it's also two teams that kind of get game planned for in the playoffs traditionally. You know what I mean? Like I definitely James Harden has been totally awesome this year, but historically he's just can't be that much of a flamethrower in the playoffs, again, because it's like you develop a strategy when there's one guy who has the ball all the time. So yeah, it kind of does really come down to Chris Paul.
I'm curious to see how many teams do the strategy that really only the Bucks have gone hard at, where they just force Harden to one side very aggressively and just don't even try to guard the other side with him, because it seems like the best way to guard him. And yeah, that's what I have to say.
Yeah, they're just like, you can't do a step back three, but you can have 35 floaters from 8 feet if you want.
Right.
It still seems like that's better.
It is better.
JD, who do you think?
Respect the Jazz. Respect them. No, you guys have spent the whole time talking about the Rockets. Let's respect the Jazz for a second. I'm taking the Jazz, and I hate it. I hate myself for it. I think it's going to be Jazz in 7.
I do think the Jazz are underrated within like the basketball Twitter community because their fans have been so pedantic, and because of, you know, the big Russell Westbrook thing, people are just sort of looking past the fact that they're really good. And like Donovan Mitchell embodies this more than anyone, because he was roasted hard at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Because he started shitty, and because of the pedantic, what is the definition of a rookie thing. But he's been like super awesome recently.
And I will say, I'm going to laugh really, really hard if Chris Paul doesn't make the second round of the playoffs again. It's going to be real funny.
Well, I mean, they don't have much of a commitment.
I have a question. Do you think it'll make you happier than the times the Warriors won a championship? Or
it'll make me happier than the second and third time for sure, but not as happy as the first time.
Okay, all right.
One of these days, Joey's gonna have to tell me the story of how Chris Paul like murdered his family.
I mean, he didn't murder my family. He's just annoying.
Why is he annoying?
And I hate him.
Okay.
Chris Paul? How is Chris Paul annoying?
Because he walks around like a big weirdo and swings his big butt at people.
No, because it's like, we get it. You're fucking short. You also don't have to have a Napoleon complex, man.
I mean, to be in the NBA, you kind of might need to.
Except you don't. There's plenty of short players who don't. And my biggest problem with Chris Paul actually is he took one of the most fun players of our generation, our lifetime possibly, and made basketball not fun, and that dude is depressing. He sucked the soul out of Blake Griffin in like a year. And Blake Griffin was pre-Chris Paul. Blake Griffin was so fun and clearly enjoyed basketball, and then he came back a year later and clearly did not enjoy basketball anymore because this little man was screaming at him every day for 400 days.
You're scapegoating him. You're projecting.
Mm-mm.
I think that these teams are very evenly matched, and I'm inclined to err on the side of Harden. So I'm going to say the Rockets.
You guys need to respect the Jazz. I'm going to keep saying it, and then you know what? I'm going to cry, and you guys aren't allowed to make fun of me because it's a mental health issue.
Sorry, wait, what?
Do you not remember when everyone was mad because people were making fun of Rudy Gobert?
Oh,
and everyone was
crying because he didn't make an award.
Yeah.
Look, a man can cry because he doesn't get a treat. A man doesn't get enough recognition. Yeah, you burst into tears.
Wait, when my wife doesn't give me belly rubs, I weep.
Like, my mom sometimes cries when I cry. You make fun of my mom?
Anyway, I think you guys, Joey, just think you need to spend a little more time thinking about Chris Paul's mom.
I mean, I spend a lot of time thinking about Chris Paul's mom. Wilmes, did you listen to yesterday's Take It or Break It yet?
No.
Okay. There's just a part in it that's going to drive you nuts. All right, next. Blazers Thunder. Answer well. I think Joey.
I think the Blazers are going to win.
Hell yeah.
In fact, Billy Donovan just announced that Paul George is day-to-day with his shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Oh, baby!
And this is going to be fun because it's like Damian Lillard and a bunch of weirdos versus Russell Westbrook and like four weirdos. That Thunder team is
Shallow.
very weird. It's very shallow and weird. But yeah, I think the Blazers are actually going to sneak this one.
Hell yeah. All right, Sean Keane.
You know, I thought I was going to be picking the Blazers in a performative way, but every time I think about the Thunder, I'm like, man, Paul George, just a great player. Like, he's underrated. Russell Westbrook, maybe not even a positive NBA player. I'm telling you, like because people will casually. I just heard a lot of people. I've said this before, but people will say, "Yeah, I think Westbrook is like second or third team All NBA." I mean, look, his shooting, his efficiency is not very good. Kind of turns the ball over a lot. Definitely a negative on defense, and it's like, so what's the positive part of that? Anyway, it's like all these Thunder players get a lot of hype because of their small market energy, but it's like, why are they winning like 47 games a year then? Like they basically have the same record as the Clippers, who and that makes sense if you think about how those players actually perform on the court rather than their hype and reputation. I don't know, man. It just doesn't seem like Steven Adams really hurts you in a playoff series.
Yeah,
You don't have a
thing,
center.
man. And look, I'll talk to Blazer fans about this, and they'll be like, "What are they going to do about Steven Adams?" And it's just like, defend pick and rolls.
Let him get his 12 and 15 or whatever. Like, who cares?
Play Zach Collins, and make him come out to the 3-point line. Like, I mean, it just doesn't seem like that dude.
Play Myers Leonard and make him come out to the 3-point line for Christ. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, because like Myers Leonard at least has the body to match up against Steven Adams.
Yeah,
the guy is yoked.
Yeah, he's blessed, baby.
I mean, Steven Adams is really good. It just doesn't matter that much because Paul George they're just not good without him.
Yeah.
He has to play at a Kevin Durant type of level for them to be.
Wow, shocking that he has to play at the level of the guy who was on the team before that made them good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, and all their other guys are better when he plays really well, but he can't. He's hurt. So even though Nurkic is out, I probably think it's best to take the Blazers.
And I will say, Nurkic is what people think Steven Adams is. I know that everybody wants to.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Okay, but he's an excellent defensive presence and a good energy player. Okay, all right.
I mean, so is Steven Adams. I want to reject this idea that Steven Adams is good.
Here's the thing about Steven Adams. I feel like we are not actually sure about how good Steven Adams actually is because he spends most of his time boxing out so Westbrook can take the rebound from him. You know what I mean? Like, he's like a weird player in that he's almost like a lineman in football, where it's like what he does is now unquantifiable because one guy is constantly taking the counting stat that normally would go to him.
I mean, rebounding is not properly appreciated by most people as a team act. Robin Lopez is a guy who's done that in some seasons past too. I remember there was one season when on the Blazers when J.J. Hickson was, I think, maybe leading the league in rebounds, but like
every time he was on the court, their rebound percentage was like the worst in the league. That was the most frustrating season to be a Blazers fan because basically everybody. Because you would watch broadcasts and Mike Rice and Mike Barrett would be like, J.J. Hickson, oh my God, what a guy. and I would just be sitting there like, you know that he's like bad, right? He's bad at basketball. And also, oh man, and you know what else J.J. Hickson did while he was on that team? I'm not even fucking around right now. He started going to Mike Barrett's church. And I'm 100% convinced that he did that so that Mike Barrett would stand for his garbage ass play. Night after night. Oh, I loathed J.J. Hickson.
That was smart. I respect it.
Yeah.
But
Mike Barrett, for those who don't know, is like a weird
I think the Blazers are going to win.
I kind of think the Blazers are going to win. I might have a little too much exposure to have a good opinion, but I.
Can I ask you, Corbin, as someone who watches the team, why were they really getting trounced by Oklahoma City this season?
I think that if I remember correctly, they were all close defeats.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Also, that was Eric remembers better than I do, and I was talking to Eric yesterday, and that's what he said.
Can we just take a moment to remember what Russell Westbrook did in the playoffs last year?
What did he do?
He got
get outplayed by Ricky Rubio.
Mitt Romney cucked him.
By Mitt Romney, yeah.
Oh yeah. Mitt Romney stunted on him. Ooh boy.
Like, do you come back from that?
Do you think
remember
there will
how
ever
bad? Wait, hold on. Let's remember last year's Jazz Thunder series real quick. Remember how weird and mad the Jazz made him crazy because Ricky Rubio got a triple-double. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
he lost his mind because like a triple-double is like his thing, I guess, and he like literally lost them the game to
yeah, and Joey, if you're wondering whether that's going to affect Russell Westbrook, there is some weird American Express promotion where if someone gets a triple-double, everything at the NBA store is like 32% off if you have an American Express card. I know that Russell Westbrook read that story because he has a Google alert for the phrase triple-double.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Why did you read that story?
It happened to be, you know how ESPN like puts tweets on the sidebar of even like a game story?
Uh-huh.
So that's where it showed up.
Okay. Yeah, there's just so much potential for Westbrook to just fuck up.
But we also need to remember we are talking about the Blazers here. So
yeah.
You
know what?
They have not won their last 10 playoff games.
Okay. Sir. There is let's see. There's a problem. What's the problem? One of the things that makes Westbrook fuck up is a good defensive big man because they seal off the rim and make Westbrook just lose his mind and start jacking up garbage. And the Blazers don't have one of those because there's leg broken half. Mm-hmm. And that's the main thing that makes me wary. But
Collins be that someday, hopefully. Isn't that like what one of the things he's supposed to be good at is like a switchy big man?
Maybe.
Do you think there's any kind of like extra Enes Kanter motivation?
No.
No, I think
I don't think
still
Enes
wishes he was on the Thunder.
Yeah.
Remember, he went to Thunder playoff games last year and like rooted for the Thunder.
What a nice boy.
Yeah, I think the only one he'd feel motivated against was Kevin Durant because he was the one who said that Middle Eastern food was gross.
And that would make me motivated against Kevin Durant. What the fuck is he talking about? Middle Eastern food is great.
Well, duh.
Yeah. Next is the 76ers versus the Brooklyn Nets. Wilmes, who's going to win this series?
The team that has Joel Embiid.
So no one's going to win game one?
Well, I mean, no one's going to win that one. No, I mean, the Sixers are going to win this series. And I don't know exactly. Practice will determine his availability, it looks like, as of 40 minutes ago was the report.
Mm-hmm.
See, I heard they announced yesterday he's going to miss game one.
No, that's not official. But so, I mean, if he's a maybe for game one, that means he's a probably definitely for game two. So I'm not too worried about
that
it.
makes him an extremely for game three.
I mean, I guess.
And an all-encompassingly for game four.
I mean,
he's going to start at two positions.
Yeah. Yeah. And then by game 7, Joel Embiid will have consumed the whole universe.
Yeah, cool stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that the Sixers are really good, but they're also really volatile. Like, they're kind of unpredictable, especially with like Jimmy Butler being insane. But
No.
I don't know. They're way too talented to not win this series.
To not win this one at least.
Yeah, I don't think they can. I honestly don't think they can beat the Raptors. But
Joe Devine.
Yeah, I don't know what we're talking about. The Sixers are definitely going to win. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the Nets are like a fun story, and I like a lot of their guys. Like, I really enjoy Spencer Dinwiddie's work. And I think Jared Allen is cool and weird. But I don't expect D'Angelo Russell's weird floaters that have gone in all year to go in the playoffs. In fact, I think he's going to have some pretty ugly games, would be my guess.
there's the possibility that they could put Ben Simmons on him, and I just don't think that would go very well.
Or Butler too, for that matter. Like,
is Ben Simmons going to be a coward? Is the question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it will matter whether he's a coward or not in this series.
Later it might
matter against the Raptors.
The path for the Nets to win this series, though, is that they shoot 43 pointers.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is going to be something that the Sixers will struggle with, is even putting up a shot beyond the 3-point line.
We'll definitely be seeing the limits of Joe Harris in this series.
Kind of like how Dale Earnhardt found the limits of that retaining wall. That's my guess.
I actually think there's no difference between those two things. Yeah.
Do you know who the last person to talk to Dale Earnhardt is?
Frankie Muniz.
Frankie Muniz, baby. He tweeted about it one time, and it was very upsetting.
What about the guy in Dale Earnhardt's headset?
He didn't. No, they weren't talking to him. That's why he crashed.
That was
He was like, "Should I accelerate into this wall? Hello, hello," and then all he heard was, "Life is unfair."
Hard life on old Frankie Muniz. Keane, you think the Sixers too, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think the Nets are going to win 2 games, though. I really do. And one of them is because J.J. Redick is going to get so confused that he's used to commuting back and forth from Brooklyn to Philadelphia that he literally shows up at the wrong arena. Yeah, he gets into the game. It's like halfway through the third quarter. Yeah, Jonah Bolden's been playing shooting guard. It's a disaster.
I can't think of any reason why the Nets would win. God bless the Sixers. Oh, maybe the Sixers will be actually good someday. When they stop being insanely volatile.
Well, they need more than 5.5 players. It's part of the problem.
Yeah. Boy, that seems like it might be a common NBA problem lately.
Yeah, I mean when you swing hard for top, front end talent, that's just sort of the way it ends up. The Nuggets are kind of the one team that are not really built that way. That's good.
Next is the Toronto Raptors and the Orlando Magic. Or Keane, yeah.
I really thought I think the Magic are a little bit underrated, just because they were playing really shitty players at the beginning of the year, and now they aren't. And just trading for Markelle Fultz just energized that team. Now they just believe in themselves. There's no obstacle that they can't surmount. But I think the Raptors are just really good. Like what are they going to do about Kawhi Leonard? He can just shut down one of their players, and then it's like, I mean, I don't know. I think Vucevic will be somewhat difficult, and I think he'll put up numbers. But
yeah, Vucevic is also like a hideous defender, and
yeah. I think the Raptors are just a very, very good team. So, I mean, that's kind of a boring analysis, but yeah. Also, sticking it to the DeVos family. I know the Raptors are very into the Special Olympics. They support them a lot, and Betsy DeVos just tried to defund them. So it's gonna give them a little more motivation.
If it were up to the ghouls that Betsy DeVos works for, Masai Ujiri would not have a job in the NBA.
He wouldn't be allowed in America.
Yeah. Look at this team. It would be like, well, Marc Gasol's gone. Pascal Siakam hit the bricks.
Well, they'd let Marc Gasol in.
Do you see this though? OG Anunoby.
I was gonna bring that up.
Doesn't matter for this series, but
wait, how bad is he hurt?
He had appendicitis. He's out 2 weeks.
No, he's out a month.
They said 2 weeks. It's the beginning. It's like, I cannot believe it. Like, if I were a Raptors fan, I'd be like, come on, like, how bad is our luck? Like, this is already starting. The playoffs haven't even started.
Yeah, that is the most cursed possible injury you can get. It would be that, or like, bad, like really bad tooth surgery.
Yeah, but it's even like, what happens in appendicitis? Well, your internal organs decide they don't want to be in your body anymore. So, they just turn into a grenade. Where do you have to have the surgery? In the middle of your stomach.
Yeah, OG's internal organs, they unionized.
It's actually kind of moving.
Yeah. This is a victory for workers around the world.
The international Wilmes is going to win.
Obviously the Raptors.
Okay.
What I want to ask you guys is how much you think OG Anunoby's precarious state impacts your view for Sixers Raptors.
Not that much.
I think the Raptors are just kind of a tough matchup in general for them, because they have they're using Serge really well these days, and it seems like Marc Gasol is the perfect guy to play like 25 minutes against Joel Embiid.
Yeah. And Siakam is actually, I think, a really good Ben Simmons counter. Like, if you put Kawhi on him and Siakam gets switched to Simmons, it's real tough on Simmons because he's actually long and big enough and quick enough to actually challenge him at the rim.
Look, it's Jimmy Butler's series, right?
How do they get so many good players, the Raptors?
Dude, they got Jeremy Lin for free. Jeremy Lin is gonna have a good game in these playoffs. I guarantee it.
Because John, they have the best GM. Like, they have the guy who's best at that.
I still can't believe that Kawhi Leonard trade that they got Danny Green too.
Yeah,
and they didn't give up Pascal or OG.
Yeah, that's the thing is, okay, OG's out, but you know who else is pretty good? Better than anyone else's fourth wing? Norman Powell. He's not as good as those other guys.
Norman
but
Powell also has the name
playable.
of a mid-century American realist painter. So
yeah, that too.
Yeah, good one, Corbin.
Isn't that Norman Rockwell?
No, it's like a fake one, you know. Yeah, I think the Raptors are going to win too. Okay. Last series, the mighty Denver Nuggets versus the Spurs with their pathetic, mediocre coach who constantly chokes in the playoffs.
Yeah. That was such a good.
Look, let's just try to spend a few minutes devoted to that, and then we'll move on to the series. So, everybody, how do we feel about Nate Duncan tweeting that Greg Popovich has been an average coach in the playoffs?
So here's something about Nate Duncan is that not only does he love numbers, he thinks in numbers. So there's no point. There was a point when they were doing their awards, and Nate had quoted this stat 12 times, and then Danny's like, I actually looked at that, and this guy is terrible defensively every time I watch him, and he has a really good score in this metric, so I don't know if we should trust it. Nate just ignored it and blew right past and was like, wow, these BRSPM numbers. And so in the same way, he can't contemplate the idea that a good coach would make you overperform in the regular season, but he's just they had a better record. They should have been the favorite. That's a choke. Without it being miraculous that one of those early 2000 Spurs teams had a better record than the Kobe Shaq Lakers, he looks at that and he's like, well, San Antonio was the 1 seed. They choked.
Yeah, to the to a guy made out of nightmares and Kobe Bryant.
Yeah. Well, and whose shooting guard got almost murdered by Juwan Howard a week before the series. But,
in one of those series, Derek Fisher just makes the luckiest shot in NBA history.
That is actually the worst moment in NBA history.
Yeah, it might be. It truly might be.
It enabled a criminal organization at that point, right? Isn't the presence of Derek Fisher and Kobe Bryant in one backcourt means you could actually file federal racketeering charges against those Laker teams, because that's a street gang.
That's what people don't know about these Kobe books. They're actually just for laundering drug money.
But yeah, it enabled
Kill Squad money. But
yeah, it just when Robert Horry hit that shot in 2002, which was also very lucky. It elevated a wonderful and delightful person into national consciousness. Whereas Derek Fisher, it just it was like giving a snake the ability to fire a gun. You know what I mean? And now doesn't he work for a predatory?
Yeah,
he's a loan shark.
Payday loan.
He's literally a loan shark now.
And he was they were already embezzling money from the players' union to buy jewelry.
Yes, I mean, I wrote a whole story about this. Check it out on Jacobin, everyone.
That shot directly led to the Golden State Warriors giving him $12 million a year to be their starting point guard.
Well, luckily, he respects the sanctity of an NBA contract, and he never tried to leverage something personal into letting him ring chase shamelessly once again.
Yeah.
Boy, it did not take long for us to get off Nate Duncan and to get on to Derek Fisher. But
well, you know why Derek Fisher had to change cities so much? Because I was learning about pyramid schemes, and the key is you need to be getting into markets that haven't been touched by your evil yet.
Yeah.
So he's New York City, Los Angeles, Oklahoma City. There we go. Utah.
I mean, Utah, that was probably a bonanza.
Yeah.
The Utah shit was so shady. When he got to have that moment, that glorifying moment where he left the team for a while because he's oh, my daughter's
and
sick.
then he came mid-game to a playoff game and beat the fucking We Believe Warriors. God damn it. I hate no one more than Derek Fisher.
Wow.
Fuck. I'm so
Paul Pierce, you're off the hook.
Well,
still significantly worse than Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Who's also overrated, but
what?
No.
How's Dwayne Wade overrated? How so?
Well, a lot of the years where they talk about how Dwayne Wade was one of the best shooting guards in the NBA, the Heat are winning 32 games a season.
That's fair. Okay.
It seems like maybe he needed a few really good players next to him for his thing to really work. But look, he's good. Just you know,
All right.
He's overrated.
Not like 18-month retirement tour good.
Anyway, so who's gonna win this Nuggets Spurs series? Wilmes.
Oh, Nuggets. They're better.
Okie doke. Joey?
I hate to do this because it sort of feels like picking like ugly, dark basketball over beautiful, fun basketball, but I think it's going to be the Spurs. And I love Jokic more than most NBA players, but I just feel like it's Popovich. It's like the monotony of LaMarcus Aldridge, like versus these guys who like haven't even played in like marquee, other than Paul Millsap. Like these guys haven't even played in like big NCAA games, let alone a big NBA game. Like it's all these
that's fair.
Weird. And I just expect Mike Malone to get outcoached. Mike Malone is just not. He's done a great job, but I feel like he's one of these coaches that gets you from a mediocre team to a good team, but then you have to get rid of him to be a great team.
It's just that they're going to be guarding Jokic with LaMarcus Aldridge and Jakob Poeltl.
Jakob Poeltl is like, oh man. I saw one of those fake scouts, Twitter scouts, sending these out, and it was like, Jakob Poeltl has actually destroyed Jokic on offense this year. Yeah, because he's so fast. As a dive man, he just dominates Jokic, because Jokic is so, like, lumbering and slow and weird. And Poeltl is like a white guy, but fast.
Weirdness really is the thing that kills him there.
It's also true that the Nuggets have an elite home court advantage in this situation.
That is true. But also, look, other than Al Horford, I just don't trust teams with those Hawks players on them. Like Paul Millsap, man, I don't know.
You did pick Kyle Korver's team, though, right?
Yeah, but Kyle Korver doesn't count either, really. He's a Iverson Sixer in his heart.
Actually, on a certain, that joke would have seemed completely farcical a week ago, but now, yeah, kinda.
It's my favorite player awakening.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Year 16.
Yeah, and it's Kyle Korver. And it's actually pretty thoughtful.
Yeah, it's a very nice article. It's just funny that it's his 16th year and even his second time in that same city. And he had already had a teammate who had his leg broken by the NYPD for being black. And that wasn't quite the thing that pushed him over the edge.
What I will say, though, is DeMar DeRozan has historically been like the worst person in the playoffs ever, which might trump a Budenholzer Hawk. I'm not sure.
Boy, that's a really good point.
You're just saying you just feel like there's a lot of curses in this.
There's just a lot of people who've been bad in the playoffs in this series.
The Nuggets are just like way more athletic than the Spurs too.
Let's get to Keane real quick. Keane, what do you think?
Look, they should win, but every time I watch the Nuggets in the past couple of months, I watch and I'm like, man, shouldn't they be better? Isn't Malik Beasley kind of awesome and Gary Harris? And then it just doesn't work. I think their defense is pretty poor. Is that an accurate read? You know what?
I think it is.
I thought the Spurs were going to win in 7, and I just started thinking about DeMar DeRozan, and now I think the Nuggets are going to win in 6.
It is weird that DeMar DeRozan is on the Spurs and like you forget. You know what I mean? It's like DeMar DeRozan's on the Spurs.
They're 10th in rating, by the way.
Yeah.
Defense.
It's not that bad of a defense.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good defense, especially considering they have Jokic. Oh man, okay. So if their biggest problem is that Jokic is maybe not like an ace defensive center, I think that it's ameliorated at least a little bit by the fact that the Spurs also play slow. But then there's that one fucking guy. Here's what I think. I think with my brain bone that the Nuggets are going to win. I think that Jokic is the best player in the series. I think that they've been excellent all year. They have a good offense and a good defense. All of the information we have is sitting here for me to hold and to say the Nuggets are a better basketball team and they should win. If it goes the other way, I'm not going to be shocked. Because mostly because Popovich is the best coach in the history of the league. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. And there's a lot of inexperienced dudes on the Nuggets. That's all. I feel like every hard reason makes me say Nuggets. I feel like every soft reason makes me say Spurs. And I'm going to go with the hard reasons.
I love it.
All right.
I didn't even think that Popovich was the coach. Nuggets in 5.
Oh, Lord. I mean, you can't win a series with Greg Popovich, man.
Yeah.
Look, there's just been a lot of chokes, okay?
We're overthinking this. Popovich is the coach. There's no chance.
Yeah. Maybe that bum will finally go back to his vineyard or whatever.
Yeah, Nate just hates wine.
I bet Nate thinks that Popovich let Robert Kennedy get assassinated when he was in the CIA, and that's his resentment.
I mean, it sounds true to me.
Yeah.
Do you think Popovich? Do you think Popovich is going to be looking at this Nuggets roster and just getting jealous, where it's like, oh man, they've got a really tall Spanish guy named Hernan Gomez who can shoot threes. Oh man, they've got Isaiah Thomas, a guy who they picked up off the garbage heap who's not good anymore. I bet I could turn him into like 12 and 5 a game. Oh my god. Because the Nuggets feel like a young Spurs team.
Oh man, they have a weirdly anhedonic guy who isn't that sculpted and is good at a lot of aspects of basketball and is 7 feet
he's
tall.
Kind of droopy. He didn't grow up in America, so he just kind of doesn't care about certain things.
Backup white center who can dunk for some reason. Oh my god. Oh.
Guys, Isaiah Thomas's PER is currently 7.1.
I think he's the worst player in the NBA now.
That's sad.
It's a real bummer.
I think it's cool.
Think he's a good teammate.
You know what? I want to offer a quick counter on Isaiah Thomas's tragedy. I think that small NBA players are cursed with hubris and they deserve to get destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
Corbin, you're canceled.
Yeah, fair enough. What about Will Barton? You think Pop could do anything with Will Barton or no?
He would.
Yes, of course.
He would love and hate Will Barton. That would be like the guy. Like, Will Barton would win him playoff games, and then he would trade him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, did
Gary Harris is the most young Spur in the league, though.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, that guy goes to the Spurs when he's, like, 30. And it's like, oh, man, Gary Harris, what a vet.
Let's just all agree that the best outcome here is that the Spurs beat the Nuggets, and then in the offseason, Popovich signs up to coach the Nuggets. Like, he gets Malone's job for...
Well, you heard the thing Mike Malone said this week, right?
I did not.
He's got 5 rings, and I've got a wedding ring, which is like, hey, my wife's alive.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, is Popovich's wife dead?
Yeah.
Yes, dude.
I'm going to presume that Mike Malone didn't mean to make that joke.
Oh, I think he did.
Maybe Mike Malone just like, yeah, maybe he's just like really ruthless, like really horny for playoff basketball, and is going to be just like really over the top in a way that probably loses him his job with like the psychological warfare shit. Like, just wait until they're actually playing games and he's doing press conferences. He's gonna say some fucking shit.
He's like spitting on like on Popovich's like side of the court.
What he's gonna go before the game and just piss right outside the entrance to the visiting locker room.
He's gonna do an Anthony Davis walk in with a picture of Popovich's wife's grave on his shirt,
and then it says, "That's all, folks."
Can we talk about that Anthony Davis thing real quick?
Oh yeah, of course.
His reasoning.
Oh yeah, well, see what happened was that I'm a child and somebody else sets out my clothes.
Yeah, he said I don't pick my own clothes. Somebody lays them out, and then I just put them on.
Who is that?
Dude, he's Dwight Howard. He's the new Dwight Howard.
I mean,
that is the most Dwight excuse of all time. Like, I'm a little baby. I don't even pick my clothing. Like, he's going to re-sign with the Pelicans because they put the right candy on the plate.
I just don't think that he has I don't think he doesn't have agency. I think that he just chooses not to. I was just explaining this to Corbin the other day. You guys, I'm sure you have friends who just let their significant other make every decision for them. Right?
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is like that.
It just seems like he's too young to have quite made that decision. And it is going to hurt his decision making in other areas.
I mean, in fairness, what like you just described something that happens to a lot of professional athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has pretty much been really famous since he was 16, right?
Yeah. And like a lot of people become invested and feel the need to, I mean, either selfishly or not selfishly to help in scare quotes, you manage your life. And then
this is how Rich Kleiman brainwashes you into doing whatever he wants.
Bingo. And like, yeah. And you just don't develop those kinds of agency skills. But, I mean, you had to know that you shouldn't wear that shirt, though, right?
I mean, I would think so.
Right?
He seems to me like he might be one of the players who genuinely doesn't look at, like, social media or follow, like, the press that much. So I don't think he has a true sense of how things are going to play.
No, because he doesn't actually seek out anything on his phone. He just holds it in front of him and someone else opens up apps for him.
Yeah. Definitely.
Here's Angry Birds, Anthony. And then he says, pull the slingshot back.
He kind of looks
I can't be faulted for the way the slingshot went.
Rich Paul pulls the slingshot back.
Yeah. Well, we got through them all. And,
yeah, we did.
And somebody has to leave. I'm not going to say who.
It's me.
It was Joey.
I also have to leave.
I just want everybody to know that scheduling this podcast was the hardest thing any of us have ever done.
It was a legit nightmare.
Yeah.
It wasn't maybe the best.
Like to the point where like on a certain level, I feel like I have to be like, we're all cool with each. We're all cool, right?
Yeah. We're fine. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Wilmes?
Oh yeah, I actually didn't think that was ever in question.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Just once again, big apologies to Joey's girlfriend.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
I feel like maybe you're not the person. Okay. All right.
Or we're being a little too elegiac about this scheduling process, maybe.
What's elegiac? I don't even know what elegiac. What the fuck is that?
For like sadness,
okay.
They act like it's a bigger deal than it is, maybe.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so thanks for joining me.
Oh wait, there's one thing I wanted to say. I forgot when we were talking about Magic Raptors.
Go ahead.
My dream is that Terrence Ross has a monster game in front of those Raptors fans for the Magic, and they get all sad because they're like, oh, we loved Terrence Ross. It would be like if Anthony Randolph came back and had like a huge game in front of Warrior fans in the playoffs. Oh, it would rule so hard.
Yeah. You know what? I hope that happens. That'd be beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, man, we forgot to mention something big in the Blazers series, too.
What?
Felton's on the Thunder.
Oh yeah. I did mention that in my preview, was that I was trying to work up some like rivalries between these cities, and what I could think of was that Portland might be the most anti-fracking city in America.
Oh, and most Portland people I know fucking hate the Thunder for the Seattle thing too.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. But yeah, the third one was the irrational hatred of Raymond Felton, who was on the Blazers for a lockout abbreviated season. But that was enough.
You are so full of shit right now. Fucking irrational. Do you know how fucking bad he was?
But it was after a lockout. Everybody was out of shape.
No. He was incredibly out of shape, and he was playing like his hands were soaked in butter.
Didn't he not get traded? Didn't even choose to go to Portland? Didn't they trade for him?
Yeah, they traded for him.
The amount that you Blazers fans care about this is like some Comet ping pong shit.
And just give it.
I just look. I just went to Raymond Felton's house with an automatic weapon. I just wanted to see what was going on. Okay. My favorite thing about that story is that guy didn't open fire. He was just like, yeah, this just seems like a nice pizza place.
Dude, it was actually pretty good. I got a slice.
Man, a lot of ping pong tables. Seems like a fun place. All right, well,
I bet that guy puts a lot of cheese on his pizza, like way more than is even cool to shake out of those shakers. It's like, you could have gotten the extra cheese. He's like, I know, but it's free.
All right, we're done. I gotta thank you, everybody. Enjoy the playoffs, everyone. Roundball rockin', take it or break it. We'll be broadcasting. Listen to those.
Yeah.
Listen to yesterday's Take It or Break It episode. It was about the Blazers mostly, but we talked about some other stuff.
This is the last time Joey and I will be cordial with each other during the playoffs.
Wow.
I mean, it really kind of depends on what happens in that Utah series.
Once Utah beats them, it won't matter.
Actually, yeah, I'm rooting for the Jazz now because I want to stay friends with Joey.
Is anyone going to Disneyland soon?
I am not.
I'm going to Los Angeles. I don't think we're going to make it out to Anaheim.
When are
you got to get there quick before that starts.
I don't remember when I'm going to Los Angeles. Just for 2 days. I was going to tell you about it later because you're my friends, but.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be gone from Los Angeles for a while.
Anyway, rate and review on iTunes. Thank you for listening. Everybody have a wonderful day. Joey, this is when you do bye.
Oh, bye.
Oh, it's unbelievable. All right.
Adios! Good one.
Wilmes, you got anything?
Oh, nope.